Now let me be the first one to say what everyone is thinking but secretly too afraid to say out loud. And that is, our boy Gen deserves so much better. Out of everyone that was in that lineup who was getting gender bent, Gen was hands down the most passable, and he got disqualified by a technicality of being too tall. All I have to say is whoever decided that nonsense wasn't looking at these characters objectively, because honestly, Gen was pretty damn doable. No shame in admitting that, he looked rather damn good. But either way, I mean, given the guy's very diverse taste, slender, timid, macho, doesn't matter, this creepy bastard wanted a bit of everything, and that's why poor Ginro really gotta be careful, because I guess he's looking like a damn snack to this villainous guy. But goddamn, what a great episode of Dr. Stone, man. So for what was basically a kind of setup episode to get our characters involved in this who's gonna get picked once a year, some girl gets picked to be the lucky bride or squeeze for this man. I mean, Koku's looking rather good overall, but when she starts talking, she's an absolute mess. But given that our man pretty much saw through it right away, probably recognizing that, you know, this is the same one who was screaming about Lab Kun the prior night, I don't know what she wants, but goddamn, she's probably going to be a great brawl, and that's what he wants at the end of the day. But it is pretty great to see what they're able to accomplish with essentially getting a lab, making makeup, and seeing everyone transform, because you don't want to just put all your eggs in one basket and put it on this girl who you just met. You don't want her to double cross you or backstab you, but it's also not guaranteed she'd be the final pick, right? So what you want to do is you want to have as many basically possible people that you can. And seriously, if our options are between Ginro and Gen, you cannot tell me with a straight face Gen looked worse than Ginro. Like, the whole too tall nonsense, nah. Ain't no way, especially when one of the people who chooses who's doable or not from his words, not mine, who's doable, he literally is like 12 feet tall. I think too tall isn't really a possibility, but hey, what do I know? Full live reaction to this wonderful episode of Dr. Stone is available on my Patreon. Do you want to see my full uncut thoughts? You can head on over there and consider supporting. I mean, I do think it's a major issue. I mean, I think justice for Gen. Gen deserves so much more justice than what he got. But goddamn, it was pretty great seeing them all. Senku looked as awkward as you would expect. New guy looks as awkward as you expect. Ginro didn't look quite as bad as you might have expected, and honestly, Gen was surprisingly passable, and there's no shame in admitting that in my opinion. But honestly, it was pretty hilarious watching the hair freak out when it came to her, because basically they take her hairband out, and it just like bloody noses galore, not because she was attractive, but because her hair was like that strong, it flicked and broke noses. The idea of simple shampoo wasn't enough, and then she gets dolled up, but prior to that, we get to see the Joker pop up briefly when she does her own makeup. That's definitely going to leave some people up later tonight, not for a good reason, before ultimately turning into an actually pretty beautiful character. And I love how you can... It's kind of like that phrase, you can put makeup on a pig, but at the end of the day, it's still a pig, right? And I'm not saying I don't like her as a character. I think Koku is one of the best characters. I think she has this beauty that's unique, but you can't deny when she doesn't know how to respond, she's pretty damn awkward. She like I love how they had like this scale of like, do I pass, do I fail? Because physically she looks good, but everything else about her was just setting off red flags, and it's pretty fantastic. But it's nice, right? Because we have a very limited supporting cast right now. We started going off on C with a hefty supporting cast, and now we're down to just a handful because everyone else is turned to stone. Which is a good thing because it lets newer characters now start taking the spotlight, given that we are in a brand new village. So by limiting the supporting cast, you then have characters like Ginro, who is without a doubt a scaredy cat. I mean, he was ready to jump ship, but you get these beautiful moments where he turns around and then he starts trying to get Kinro because he doesn't want to leave his buddy behind, and then he realizes what he needs to do overall. It's not just save one, he needs to get that lab thanks to Suika doing this amazing kind of distracting maneuver, and as we see, without that lab, I think it's pretty much guaranteed they would have been shit out of luck. If they had enough time to prepare and find new things, then maybe they could do something. But as we see from just now that we have a full lab, we can make things smell like shit, literally. Like, that's what they did in order to cover up the fumes that their so-called monster, from a lot of these people's point of views, as they get the hell out of Dodge. This is kind of like the brilliant thing about Dr. Stone, is we've done so much prep work in the prior seasons that now when, I mean, are we going to remember every single spot that they went to and we're going to say, oh, they got this acid from this spot in season 1 or season 2? No. But when Senku starts saying, hey, this is what we're going to make, we got this from this and we got this from this, you're like, yep, we did, because we had so much prep work laid out earlier on that now this mobile lab is actually pretty fantastic and comes in clutch without feeling like an asshole. Because think about it, how many times have authors just randomly say, oh, we secretly discovered the one thing that we need? Like, they may stumble upon jasmine, but that's not like something, like, they're not discovering diamond when they discover the jasmine flower, right? But when he starts pulling out all these extra things, we know he did the previous work in previous episodes, and that's what I really like about this author, is that not only is the maps that they go through about how they're going to make makeup or lip balm or shampoo and conditioner, it's a believable workflow because the author and the research team that does work on this, you know, they make it line up in a realistic way. But most importantly, the previous arcs and previous episodes set a stage so that these types of moments are possible because they have the equipment, they have the materials necessary after previous arcs and expeditions, right? Like, that's kind of the brilliance of Dr. Stone, is that nothing really kind of happens from thin air. Yeah, there's characters that can jump maybe higher than your average human or hear better than your average human, and there's a lot of meme energy in any given episode. I mean, look at our girl being both an angel and a devil between Joker from Batman and a seductive princess in any other show. I love the fact that this show has so much fun. At the end of the day, the thing that needs to make sense, which is the science, given that Senku is a man all about science, if you don't have that make sense in the context of what we perceive as reality, then obviously the show would fall apart. But there's a reason why we're halfway through, or getting close to halfway through its 3rd season, and seriously, the fact that it's just getting better. And before anyone says, what do you mean before we're only halfway? This is a split core. Dr. Stone New World is a split core, so that's why I'm saying half, even though we will be wrapping this one up in a couple of episodes as then we wait for fall. I just know someone would have commented like, actually, we're almost done this season, not knowing it is actually a split core, which is really good news for anyone who likes the show, of course. But this was a fun episode, man. It had great character motivation moments, like with Ginro really showing that he is more than just a coward. You had the funny moments just with, I mean, them thinking it's a monster. I mean, they're literally seeing a talking, if not rolling watermelon that they can't comprehend. They have goats that they've never seen, only read about in books. A giant monster going from like land to sea. Yeah, it's gonna seem like a monster to most of them. And I like the fact that they do have fun with just, do we need to see the gender bent characters? No, but does it make for comedy gold, if not questionable? Like, honestly, I never thought I'd feel this way about some of these characters, but goddamn Dr. Stone, you're making me feel things. Yes, that's the type of episode this was, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, I do think it's an issue that Ginro got picked over again, but hey, what do I know? Maybe people say I'm overreacting, but you know what? I say you're underreacting. How about that? But seriously, let me know what you thought of this episode of Dr. Stone down below. Drop a like if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new around here, ring that bell, of course, so you can get notified when I upload more Dr. Stone. And as I mentioned, we do have a full live reaction to episode 9 of season 3 available on my Patreon if you're interested. And while you're there, you'll also get a video shoutout. So today we have Derek Lord, Wade Smith, Cody Fox, and Cora Leopard. So I appreciate the support, everyone. Please take care and have a good one.